Hey, what's happening, man? See, look at this. Eli, Eytan, Gold Boys, Odd Shopper, James, Straight's in the house producing. You out there, we appreciate your role. We got a lot of stuff to tell you about, but I'm just always interested in Eli's day, right? Like we're getting Eli 11 o'clock in the morning here live on a Wednesday, every Wednesday with you out there. And my days don't change, right? Like he's not there yet. He only has the one child, but when that second kid comes, you really want to be stuck in like this circle, this rotation, like a hamster wheel. So I'm always curious to see what Eli's getting into, because when we get you before the show, you always have like a million things. You were printing a 50-page document that wasn't for this show, nor was it with your show for Jerry, to be fair.
Yeah. So we're going to Germany in March because my wife's family is from Germany, and my kid has never been over there. Her grandfather is like too old to travel here. So we're gonna go over there for like a week and a half in March, right before MLB kicks off, and see that side of the family. Introduce them to our little man, who's gonna be not quite 2, and got to get a passport for him, which it turns out is if you think about how hard that should be to do, multiply that by about 3 million, and that's how hard it actually is. It is the most annoying. You have to fill out 17 forms on the computer, print them out by yourself, send like his original birth certificate, all that stuff, put it in the mail, the very trusty postal service, and wait. You have to pay like $120 if you want to expedite it and have it in less than 6 weeks, which is wow, that's insane. So I promised my wife, I was like, yeah, I can get it printed off today, and because you have to make an appointment at the post office,
right?
And both parents have to be present. I don't even know what we have to do.
Just make sure that you're not missing this away to Germany.
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying, just so that one parent isn't just taking their child away to like another country.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Which I guess is fair. That would probably get on my nerves if I just woke up and my wife took my kid to Germany for no reason. I didn't know about it. But yeah, I was like, I promise. Our appointment is this afternoon. So we all three have to go.
Nice.
I was like, I promise I'll get it printed out and everything. So I had to dig out our printer, find like all the cables I need for it. I was like, it's like a brand new printer. The ink should be fine. I'll promise I'll get it printed today. And I go to try to print it, and the color print, like I don't know how to use printers anymore. The color ink is fine. It's printing color. All of the black ink that like she spent hours like inputting onto the computer wasn't printing. And I was like, okay, whatever. I guess that sucks. So I had to run and buy a new black ink cartridge, because apparently this has been sitting so long that it like gummed up or something, because it's just not working. It's not empty. It's brand new. It just doesn't work. So everything's printed. It's all up there ready for it. So yeah, we're good now.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I have a question about this specific flight for you. We want to get into our best bets right away. Just the number one thing that's on our mind. So I'm going to follow up after our best bets, but I just want to let this linger here. Yes or no? Just do me a favor. Yes or no? Is this your son's first flight?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that changed everything for me. All right. I want to come back to that. Best bet. This is what we'll do right off the top here. Now you know who we are. We always like to just say hello. It's been less than a week since I've seen Eli, so I want to catch up and all that. But we have our best bets. This is just the number one bet that's on our mind. It doesn't matter what sport it is. It doesn't matter what time it is. If Eli has a lean on an MLB futures bet January 3rd, we'll take it, right? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just your best bet. So I already look in the NFL. I think I have something for me that I jumped on earlier in the week, but why don't you take things away? We'll bounce around the NBA. We'll hit the Odd Shopper site, show you how to use the parlay builder, do a bunch of stuff here. You hit the thumbs up button, subscribe as you come in here. Make sure you're doing the same at the Gold Boys channel and goldboys.com, like oddshopper.com. A lot of stuff. Eli, your best bet.
I have seen this movie 1,000 times. The Texans are in Indianapolis Sunday, and if the Jaguars lose and the Colts win, the Colts win the division. If it doesn't matter if the Colts win, I believe they are locked into a playoff spot in the wild card, which is crazy.
Right.
There's a 3-way tie for first place in the AFC South. Again, I've seen this movie 1,000 times. There is 0% chance the Colts win on Sunday. Literally, I don't care what. I know Odd Shopper probably has like some really good algorithms and everything, and you should trust those 99.9% of the time. The Colts have a 0% chance of beating the Houston Texans on Sunday.
Wow.
I mean, 0. It's not. There's no way. There's 0. There's literally no chance the Colts are gonna. I'm gonna be there. Well, it's Saturday night actually. Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Moved to prime time. Even worse news for the Colts, who suck in prime time. I don't even know what else to tell you. There's no stats. There's no numbers. There's just I have watched this team fail and fail and fail and fail again. And there's no way they win. I don't think there's any chance they lose by less than 7 points. So I am going to bet the Texans money line. I'm going to bet the Texans alt spread minus probably minus 6.5 at plus 215. I'm probably going to parlay that with CJ Stroud 300 yards. Because that's been literally my favorite bet of this entire NFL season is CJ Stroud to throw for 300 yards. I've made so much money on that. It's just like it's a system play, and the Colts don't really have a secondary. Running game for the Texans is mid at best. CJ Stroud going to be slinging it all over the place in I think a building that he talked a little bit of trash about. And he was kind of right. He was kind of right. Colts fans are way too nice. Not me. I am screaming my lungs out at all of the opposing fans in my section, as well as the refs and everything. I'm trying to go against that narrative. But generally, Colts fans are very, very nice to the opponents and everything. I think he did throw some shade at Colts fans, which is fine. But I don't think there's any way he throws for less than 300 yards. And I don't, like I said, there's no way the Colts win the game. So that was like kind of 3 or 4 bets, however you want to look at it. But
it's all under the same umbrella, which is the Colts lose. Right. So this is what I love, right? Like you always hear this. I think it's ridiculous where somebody will say, never bet on your own team, all this, because the concept there, it's bullshit. You're like, when people say
can be bullshit.
I think in this case, it's a perfect example. And I do this all the time. Like I made a ton of money 2 years ago when that Phillies bullpen was so atrocious that you knew no matter what lead they had, they would blow it, right? I mean, it was like historic during a stretch. So what happened? Live bet the other team when the Phillies had a 2-3 run lead, what have you. So in this case, you're just betting based on history, based on feel, based on everything that's coming from watching your football team, right? Like you're not going to make the same assessment on the LA Chargers. You are going to use some numbers. You are going to use some data. You are going to use some other things. But this is where I think betting on your own team or fading your own team does come into play a lot because you do have history. Same thing with me in Philly, man. Like I've lived it. I've lived the misery. I know, okay, I've seen this film before. Like it comes around. So I think that's a great play personally. And I didn't want to bring it up first because I know the Colts are your team, but I'm going to have to ride you, brother. Ride it with you, brother, on the Texans here.
Yeah, and I think I've talked about this before. I think it's a bad idea in general to bet on your team, quote unquote, your team to win and your team to cover. But outside of that, outside of that, like this is a team that you know the most about, no matter what. It's a team you're gonna spend the most time watching, the most ins and outs on. So when you think there's a good chance they're gonna lose, I think that's a very good opportunity for you to bet against your team. And I also think props are valuable to look at for the team that you root for as well. Just because again you're watching so much of them do what they do. So I love betting both over and under props on Colts players and Pacers players.
All right. Chat again, thumbs up, subscribe. We appreciate you rolling with us. Jeffrey, OKC Knicks. We'll get to some NBA coming up. Cleveland Saints -3, Washington +4. That's a lock. So I assume he's taking the Commanders there +4.
No such thing as a lock, but I like it.
Yeah. Bobby Big Wheels, couple of handsome fellas. See, doing a show with you brings me, nobody would ever say I'm a handsome fella unless I'm sitting here with you. And I think Bobby Big Wheels is just trying to be nice to me.
I think Bobby also calls Jerry handsome. So
well now I don't know. Do you watch Seinfeld? Are you a Seinfeld guy? Like, would you recognize
I've seen a lot of Seinfeld episodes and like the, get home from school or whatever, and it's just always on at like 4:00 or whatever what it is. I wouldn't call myself a Seinfeld guy.
Do you remember the one? They're in the Hamptons and there's a doctor and he calls a baby breathtaking and the baby is just okay. So the doctor calls a baby breathtaking who is just like offensively ugly after calling Elaine breathtaking. So Elaine's like, what? Like You called me breathtaking, but then you called this ugly baby breathtaking. That's kind of how I feel with Bobby Big Wheels now, figuring out that he called Jerry a handsome fella. Like I'm ruined here. Childish
Shout out Bobby
Candino.
Big Wheels though. Bobby's always in the chats, always having a good time.
Always. Yep. Shout out. I remember too. Every time I come on with you guys, he's an active fella in there. No, the Huskies, Washington Huskies. I like that actually a lot. +4 for the Huskies in the championship game. All right. Last one here, real quick. Childish Candino. Can't bet against my Steelers, even when I wanted to, when they played the Cards and the Pats. I hate to do it to you, brother, but I think this week is going to be a rough one for Tomlin and company. The Ravens are just in a spot right now. Let me give you mine real quick, all right? It's Miami. It's +3. I got it at -105. There is clearly a bounce-back spot here for the Dolphins. It's just hard to think that they won't after losing by 17+, right? And speaking of which, nice little trend here that could go back to 19. You ready? I'm going to go back to 1989 with you, Eli. All right. Yes. And now most of these games are, you weren't even born yet when this trend began. NFL teams at home in their final game of the season who were in the playoffs the previous year are 37-18-1 as underdogs. The only two fits this week, Miami, the New York Giants. Check this out. When those same teams are coming off a loss of 17+ points in their previous game, they're 11-1-1 against the spread. 13 games, smaller sample size. But how often do we see a team get embarrassed, get humiliated, and bounce back? Bad teams do this. Miami's good. Buffalo's riding a streak, don't get me wrong, but I will definitely, certainly, even with some injury concerns, because it looks like Tua is fine, or at least the shoulder's not going to keep him out. I took the 3. Biggest key number in the game here. I took the 3 at home with Miami.
I like that. I won't tell Jerry I like that, but yeah.
I know. I kind of was thinking that in my head, like, oh, man, I hope he's not listening because we just gave him even more. All right, ammo.
No
All right,
way.
brother. No way. All right, so good to go there. I was curious, by the way, about your son, because what did you do on the first flight? You know, you see these stories of like couples handing out bags of candy or buying drinks for the flight ahead of time.
No, so we went last about when spring training, it's usually February. So I had to go to Florida for work late February, early March of last year. I couldn't fathom being away from my kid for that long. And I still can't. So I was like, hey, well, let's just we had some miles or whatever. So I'll just take wife and kid with me, got them, and then my mother-in-law went to got an Airbnb, so they hung out, and then we drove after my 3 days of work or whatever. We drove up and went to Yankee spring training games and hung out in the Tampa area. But he did really, really good on the plane, honestly.
How long was that flight?
It was only like 2.5 hours.
And what's Germany? 6 nonstop?
So yeah, we've got like a 3-hour flight to Charlotte, and then I feel like it's 7 or 8 from Charlotte to Munich. So yeah, it's gonna be the good thing is we're flying overnight, so hopefully he's just gonna sleep the whole time. But we'll see. But yeah, he did really good on the first. All the flights for Florida a year ago. We just had a bunch of like of his little puffs and snacks and stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He did really good. We didn't have to do really anything special.
That's great, man. Good. Let's hope it's the same. Now, will you bring? This is his second flight, so maybe you got lucky.
Third, I forgot. He flew to New York. We went to New York for a week too. Went to some Yankee games this summer. He also did really good on those flights.
So he's 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like those odds. I won't even bring up. It's just like a bet. I won't even bring up the other side here. Let's just keep this thing positive, and he'll roll.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible. That long is going to be terrible.
Are you going to bring anything?
He have his own seat for him on these flights.
Oh no,
so we'll have a little bit more room to spread out and stuff. But yeah, no, it's going to suck.
What will happen? Like, are you going to
land?
Anything?
He doesn't sleep anyway. Sorry to cut you off. He doesn't sleep anyway. We're going to land, and he's going to go through jet lag.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal.
Oh, it's going to be awful.
If he goes crazy, will you buy the flight? Like drinks? What will you do if he's going crazy on the flight?
Oh, they have to deal with it.
You're such a crumb. I would be so upset. I'm sitting 5 seats behind you, and I got this baby screaming his head off for 6.5 hours to Munich, and I can't even get a free drink.
I mean, get rich and fly private.
Okay. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Maybe we can hit something here. All right, let's go to Odd Shopper if we can. James Strait, of course, producing the show. Let's go to a state, not Florida. How about that? And we'll go to the parlay build. Let's go to the parlay builder right now. Again, this is the easiest tool. This is my favorite. It should come to no surprise to you out there. This is my favorite tool on the entire board here. We have a ton of different things. We have a link below in which you can sign up. What book do you feel good to go today? Let's go to PA. How about that, James, if you don't mind, since I'm in PA? And what book? Dealer's choice, Eli. And we'll show people how easy this is because all we're doing is just basically putting in simple stuff. Book, league, day of the week, which is today. So what book would you like to play?
I know DraftKings has been getting a little bit of heat recently just for their like the stat correction things. That's kind of a thing on every book. To me, I think their SGP, even though the UI is kind of trash to do it,
Yep.
I've found that their same game parlay odds or their parlay odds in general have been really, really solid. Just
Good.
as a tool. Always shop the lines for your parlays, but I like DraftKings as a stock parlay builder.
Excellent. All right, so we'll go to DK.
GoPlaysNetwork.com/DraftKings.
There you go. We have a link below to get you to all that through you guys too. So it's below. It's goboys.com/DraftKings. It's all of that. Great. NBA, if you don't mind, James, on the all leagues, we can go to NBA and just isolate. We may have to clean up a couple in there. All right. So let's do this. Let's get rid of everything except for Dort and Nurkic. And I'll explain why in a second here. Okay. So we'll keep those two in here. The reason, Eli, is because now, again, I just working here. They give me information and data every now and again. I don't know if I'm supposed to share a screenshot, so I'll just tell you what I have. Rebounds and threes are killing it for the Odd Shopper tool. So our ROIs for and again, it doesn't matter if it's over or if it's under. It's just the prop itself. Rebounds and three-pointers. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars specifically. If you see rebounds or threes, rush to bet those. So I just love to kind of start there and see if there's anything. Now, I see a couple of rebound props, even a three-pointer prop. We've got 12 games tonight. Do you have any issue with either Dort or Nurk up there as far as like places we can start?
I don't because Lou Dort is very, very streaky. Just it seems like for all of his things. So you could definitely see him having a 2-rebound night against whoever he's matched up against is going to be a better rebounder than him. I think that front court for Atlanta, not elite by any means, but they rebound the basketball pretty well. With Nurk, kind of a similar thing, I guess. Like I don't know, is it weird to say him and Zubac are kind of just like the same player?
Yeah. I think that's accurate.
So yeah, that's it, and that's a big number too. You're getting the under on 10.5. He's averaging 10.4 on the season, I think. So yeah, I like those.
All right. Now we have on the right, and again, if you see EV, any number above 0, it's a plus EV bet, which essentially means it's beating the market. It might be beating the market, the best bet we have at the specific book, or it's simply just beating the market and it's one of the better plays. And you, as Eli always says, shop odds. You may find 2-3 books giving you bets, that are beating the market. So we want to stick to ideally 3% or higher for me. I will every now and again go below if I can for like a rebound prop, but we have a couple up there. I'm interested the Toronto game specifically with Siakam. I don't know if rebounds is going to be the stat impacted, but I think scoring, well, maybe, but definitely scoring. Like I would look at maybe going under Siakam points. The new guys that are coming there from the Knicks are going to score more than OG combined. It might have a significant impact, but probably at least a little bit of an impact on Siakam straight up just scoring because the ball is going to move a little bit. So maybe that's a PRA play that we have a little bit below. Do you have anything that you think jumps out here?
Go back to that Hartenstein one. I think there was a Hartenstein.
Ooh, yeah. 9.5 boards, Hartenstein.
I know. So his minutes.
Let's add that.
He played 39 minutes last game, which would worry me a little bit for the under. against the Timberwolves, but it seems like those Knicks bigs are. I don't think there's any kind of lineup or injury changes, but that's just what was the line? Sorry,
No, you're good.
9.5.
9.5 at even money, right?
Yeah. What, he hasn't cleared this in like 2 weeks. That's an interesting one, especially you mentioned that about the kind of the algorithms being better or really good for threes and rebounds.
Correct.
At home, he's cleared this once all season.
Why are we getting even money to go under this? There must be something. And look, it could just be the
That's what I
fact
was trying to figure out too.
Did we miss something? Because I don't think we did. The other thing could be people are just loading up on the over here because they think, oh, well, it's just a matter of time. And maybe that has opened up some width on the under. But it seems for a guy who has not hit this, especially at home in some time, it seems like, I don't know, maybe those trades like OG coming to the Knicks, if anything, would take away a rebound, right?
Yeah, real quick, I gotta respond to Joey B on chat. 2 of the best co-host beards on YouTube, top 5. Listen, my beard looks really, really good on a webcam. I will say that it's definitely somewhere below average in person. IRL, definitely well below average beard. But yeah, I'm trying to figure this out too, because
minute increase, yeah.
The front court for the Knicks is like very volatile. Like I bet on Hartenstein a couple times last year when he was in the starting lineup, and then for some reason he played like 18 minutes. And you also think about, obviously the big trade that just happened. RJ Barrett, not much of a rebounder, and you take him out of there, you put OG in there, who is this, a solid rebounder. You got to think that takes at least 1 or 2 away from the center. I would think that bodes not good for Hartenstein rebounds. So the more I think about this, I cannot figure out why this line is at 8.5.
I think childish Camdino, sorry, and what you mentioned at the start, the minute increase may be the only thing that puts this in here. But I'm with you. Let's add this, Bobby.
And I think if he plays his full, 34 minutes, I think you're getting a good number at even money, basically. But I think there's just a good chance he plays 25 minutes, and then 9.5 is under 9.5 seems way too low.
All right, we're at 666 right now. So
we can't do that.
Yeah, we need to add one more. What do you think? I mean, again, like we can go ham here on rebounds and take Avdija or Siakam. If you like something else, by all means, I'm all for it. I know AD is not hurt. He does have the P tag on there. 12.5 rebounds for him. Just looking around.
I hate even bringing this up because I might actually end up betting something with an over on, like an alt over on Tyrese Halliburton assists.
Yeah,
13.5 is a really, really big number. That's a really big number. I know he's had a couple of 20 assist games very recently. He's only cleared 13.5 once against the Bucks in his entire career. Even with
second game.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. Just saying second game here between the two teams too.
Yeah. And Dame looked really, really bad in that last game. I don't think he's bad at basketball by any means. I think he's going to come out pissed off and with a little bit of a point to prove. And I could see them kind of going back and forth shooting wise. And 13.5 just seems
it's a lot.
Seems too high. We were getting 12 plus at plus money for like the first 3-4 weeks of the season. I was hammering it. But 13.5 I think is too much.
All right, let's add that. And now that gets us to a healthy 12.34. So we just gave you, right, a 4-leg plus 12.34 parlay. All we did was use the tool here. Again, we have a link below. You can sign up for everything. Goldboys.com. You need to sign up there. You need to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe here, Gold Boys YouTube channel. We have tons of links below. So if you see something and hear something that you like, go ahead and check it out there, from Odd Chopper Premium to even BetMGM. Like, we can give you that as well, though we did build this on DK. So we've got links for you on DK. Go to goldboys.com/DraftKings, right? Well, we want you to get the credit here. So we have a link below that brings everybody to that page. So that's fine.
The T-Wolves could also drag him into foul trouble. Am I looking at the wrong day? We didn't pull the T-Wolves play the Pelicans tonight. I don't think I think you're thinking about last game.
Yeah, this is New York here. Unless he was talking about somebody else, right? Knicks Bulls. So Vooch missed last time against the Sixers. We'll see what goes on there. Maybe that also factors in if they're down him. We got one on the chat. Pete Magana, James Harden, 17.5 over or under. What's your take on it? Clippers. Yeah. This is an interesting one here for the Clippers tonight.
That is like in a vacuum, I'd kind of lean under, but is there a revenge narrative here for James Harden against Kevin Durant where he wants to, take I was on Paul George points the day James Harden scored like 40 points in the fourth quarter against the Pacers. So does he decide to do that again against former teammate that didn't end well, Kevin Durant? I guess I maybe lean over, not looking at it too much in depth here, just kind of face value, read the narrative. I could definitely see James Harden shooting the ball a lot tonight.
Yeah, James Harden has revenge narratives against half the league. Like, does anybody have more revenge narratives? Maybe Kyrie Irving, but does anybody have more revenge narratives than James Harden? Houston, Philadelphia, individuals now. We're going Irving in Dallas, KD in Phoenix.
I mean, pretty much the entire league, I feel like, kind of doesn't like him. So,
what's your handicap?
That's a solid take by you.
What do you shoot? Florida Knicks 4 asking me what my handicap. Now, I play at this, which is like an impossible. The golf course that I play at is like it's a valley. So picture most of your game being played on hills like this. It's not easy to hit off like a 75-degree angle, right? So I shoot in the 90s. I didn't play growing up. I'm pretty impressed with my ability to break 100, and I think that's probably where I'm going to be for the rest of my life because I don't have time anymore to play unless it's mini golf.
Yeah. So I started last summer with the goal of breaking 100. Legit. Like I started playing. Like I didn't pick. I thought golf was stupid until I was like 22 years old. And I started playing with my grandpa, and we would just cheat all the time. So I have like scorecards. I found a scorecard of me with like a 70 something. I was like, there's like we cheated so much. Like if I would hit a ball in the woods, my grandpa would just throw another one. I mean, hit it again.
Go ahead, right?
So I started the beginning of this summer or last summer with the goal of legitimately breaking 100. I did that pretty early. Hit a wall, bought a budget simulator set up in my garage for like you can do it for like well under $1,000 now. And I sent for like a week, I was sending Brad Thomas from Gold Boys slow motion videos of my swing, and he was like dissecting for it. I think he played golf in college, but like he's really good and knows ins and outs of swing. And I broke 90 once this year towards the end of the season, and then kind of regressed a little bit. Broke my driver shaft on the last round of the year and just hung it up, shot like a 102 or something again. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. A 95 is a very solid score for me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Broke 90 once, and we need Brad to come on here and give like one or two of his best bets, but then just spend a couple of minutes breaking down areas of our game that we need. Like we'll send him video ahead of time. That's another show in its entirety right there. We've breaking 90 with Brad.
Like a series of I still want to do this next summer, but we both now have very young kids, so and he lives in Florida and I live in Indiana. But doing like a series of can Eli beat Brad if Brad goes and buys all of his golf clubs at Goodwill, or how many can I get minus a stroke for every 2 tacos I eat during the round or something crazy like that. I think that would be really, really good content. And Brad's hilarious too.
Nice. That's amazing, man. Yeah. My family that I married into, that's why I even play now, is my wife is really good. Like at her peak, she was shooting in, mid low 80s, and her sister played golf at Mount St. Mary's, like the #1 golfer there, D1 golf and all. And their dad breaks like 80 pretty much most of the time. Their mom is good. So it's like my first, I think like maybe the 3rd or 4th outing date, if you will, that I had with my wife was like, oh yeah, I can play golf because I'm still trying to, establish a relationship with her. And I go out there, I'm hacking away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're knocking down like, 15 feet putts, just like reading. And I'm just like, this is it for me. Like she's going to dump my ass. But you stick with it.
I mean,
You
congrats.
stick with it. Yeah. I mean, look, I outkicked. So I'm the one who needs to adjust here by all means. All right, brother, let's do this. Hit the NBA. Reminder, if you're out there, thumbs up, subscribe. We appreciate it big time here. More comments we'll get to for sure. If you have anything now, back to the NBA. But let's bounce around. Let me start and get your thoughts on this because I'm as we talk through this, I'm curious to see if we actually are on opposite sides of anything. So far, I think so good, but I'm going to hit this Utah game. Now, this game has moved 3 full points. All right. I believe it opened at 5.5 for like a blip and then to 6.5. It's moved through 7, like the lone key, if you will, in the NBA. It's now sitting at 8.5. In fact, you can get Detroit at 9. I see Bet River Sugar House. I didn't even know Unibet was still around, but that too.
Only
with that said, is that right? Only in Maryland?
Only, or maybe only in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, they're on their way up.
Yeah.
I'm going to lay the 8.5. Now, initially, this may seem like too big. Who the hell are the Utah Jazz to be laying points with anybody on the planet north of 7? Really, probably north of 5. I think there's a big difference. And I actually go back to a conversation you and I had. You brought up Colin Sexton.
I'm going to do it just again.
Look, right? And the emergence of him as a consistent scorer. Look, the Pistons are dog shit. Great. They won a game. They're still 3-30. All right. They're 1-16 on the road. They caught a team sleeping. Utah's not good enough to sleep. Utah's won 7 of 10. They've won 2 straight. They found established scoring. They've been able to get by, still giving up nearly 118 points a game. They've been able to limit that over this stretch and not get blown out of the building. They come off a huge win where Kyrie came back and they just hammered Dallas. I'm sorry. I think in this particular case, Utah is 10 points better at home based on current Look, Eli, you talk to me in a week. Maybe this changes. But right now, in this game, even at 15-19, I'm going to lay the 8.5 at home for Utah. I think people are scared of this number because of Utah. I'm not.
Yeah, and Utah's 15-19, underperforming, right? Clarkson has, not looked like himself. But outside of that, like I really like the big 3, like a budget big 3, try to sneak away into a play-in team of Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, and John Collins. I know that's not a big 3 by any means, right?
Right.
I do not understand how Colin Sexton started the season coming off the bench. This was a guy I loved betting on when he was in Cleveland and healthy. Very proficient scorer. Like he can get to the rim and he can finish in creative ways. I like him a lot. You're giving me a line of 17.5 at -106 on Bet Rivers, or if you could even, I'll probably take the 16.5 -135 on ESPN Bet. That is wild. That is wild. Like I can pull up real quick his log here. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but let's just see. He's missed this twice as a starter out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games.
It's not bad.
As a starter, he's been under, again, you can get 16.5 -135 ESPN Bet. He's missed this twice against a team. You look at this Pistons lineup. I would think Bogdanovich, who's an okay defender, draws Lauri a lot of the time. Maybe they put Cade Cunningham on Colin Sexton. I don't know, but like there's not really a proficient defender in that Pistons lineup. But Jalen Duren is a solid rim protector, I guess. But Colin Sexton also was able to have some really impressive finishes to me over Anthony Davis, who is worlds above Jalen Duren as far as rim protection goes. So 16.5 -135, Colin Sexton. Maybe that should have been my best bet, but I like that a lot, and I'll probably play 20 as well.
Look, I'm going to stay in this game right now and ride this momentum here because you mentioned Lauri. I don't think they have anybody. Bogdanovich may be their best guy, but that doesn't mean he can stop. The stretch 4 who can knock down threes has killed this like a lot of spots have killed this Pistons team. I think there's room here. Look, they just put up a $127 on Dallas. You have 2 straight games in which Markkanen, maybe because of the minutes, he also had a shitty night from the floor 2 games ago, pardon me, against Miami. But you've got 2 straight games where he hasn't even hit 20. He's a 23 average on the season. This is a buy low spot where you can get him at 22, basically going over. 21.5 may still be out there. Go ahead and shop it on Odd Shopper. But I think from a scoring standpoint, this is where Utah is going to pour in. And I think you are going to see 120, 125, something along those lines. There's plenty of room here. So I'm going to go either 4 threes, which I think is doable at plus money for Lauri Markkanen, or just go over his point total, because Detroit is going to get waxed. And you know what? They're going to try to overcompensate, and that's going to open some stuff up for Colin Sexton. They don't know what they're doing. That's why they're 3-30. So looking at this game specifically, Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, sign me up for points here.
Colin Sexton, 20 points. Lauri for 4 threes. I think I lean towards Lauri threes for whatever reason.
That's fine.
Over the points straight, just because you're getting plus money for 4 threes. And the Jazz to cover the 8.5 is plus 775 on FanDuel.
Oh, let's do it. All right, let's do it. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. All right, we appreciate now on the way out. I was hoping today there would be something that we were kind of on opposite sides on. I can't take the Colts, and you're not going to take the Bills here. Is there anything like, all right, let's look at this real quick. Are you on, because I just want to run through some NFL and we'll see. Just say yes or no if you can, and we'll see if this works. Again, who knows? Maybe we'll do it a different way. But again, I thought in this conversation where we would have some stuff, there would be like, oh man, I'm on the Colts, or oh man, I'm on the other side here. The Giants are plus 5.5. Do you have any interest in this football game here for the New York Giants? Because I do, as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles fan base.
The Giants are so bad, man. I know the Eagles have been struggling. You look talent for talent, though. Is there one position the Giants are better than the Eagles? Like, I guess maybe I could go against you, because it looks like you can get minus 4.5 on BetMGM. So maybe you arbitrage that, and we are off opposite sides, but
we middle it
on the same. You know what I mean?
What about the Bears and Packers? I can get 3.5 on Chicago if you're willing to lay 3 for Green Bay.
Yeah. I hate this Bears team. Team, and I'm not a Packers fan, but I'm a fan of their young talent positions. I think Jordan Love is going to be solid. I don't know if the Bears have anything worthwhile right now.
Yes, they do. Come on. The addition of Montez Sweat. This defense has been one of the top in EPA. You've got Justin Fields, who might be playing for his job at the very least, looking to outshine the guy on the other side who's fully entrenched over there in Green Bay. I think there's motivation here.
Better. I do think Jordan Love is better. And I think he's going to
be. All right. You know what? My disagreement comes in the form of this game. This game decides who's better. Justin Fields or Jordan Love, Eli or Eytan. Jump in. Whatever side you're on, you let us know here in the chat. If you're rolling with Team DeGen Eli or Team Shander, either way, Shander Show, I guess we'll give you your Twitter handles here. Go ahead, put it on down. Again, thumbs up, subscribe, hit thegoldboys.com. Make sure you're on there, and you can follow all the teams' plays. Here, Odd Shopper will give you 2 free months as well when you sign up with us at BetMGM. So a lot of good things happening. We're back next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Anything you got, brother?
Good luck.
On the way out.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys giving us 45 minutes of your day.
When's your flight?
March 8th.
Oh, you got time. I thought it was like next week. We'll see, guys. Thanks to James Straight for producing. Thanks to you all out there. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.